All right, so my mic's on. Got that right. Put on some background tunes to listen to. Okay, how's it going, everyone? Um, how's everyone doing on this fine Monday? No big news. Over the weekend, China and the US did talk about having a deal. That's the reason why we're trading up a lot higher today. And now we were sitting up here at these 80s and 90s, and I have to say, I kind of want to short this. I'm not going to, but sitting here looking at it right now, I just have this, just like this urge to short it because I think that we might get a retrace down to the 70s before a pop happens. But also, I might get a better price. We just like pop out of the gate, which is also possible. Let's take a look at crude. And where's crude sitting? 61.50s on crude. Short here and now. Like if you were looking short, I mean you have this trend line down at the moment of lower highs, and we're getting a rejection here on the 15-minute. You could technically maybe see a short down into the 60 level that we were looking at earlier. So, I mean, it doesn't look terrible for a short. It doesn't look terrible. You could target the lows, so I mean, let's say if you took a short here, you target 60, 70s, the low of today, and you can put a stop right above 62, because if it breaks out above 62 with some strength, then I mean it's going anyway, right? That's also tempting. That is also tempting. 15-minute candle ATR right now is about 21 cents. So if you got short, as you're talking, it's already it's already fell another 10 cents. If you were going to put your stop at 62, you add another 21 cents for the ATR. So basically, if it pops up above here, you would be out. So risk 70 cents, which is pretty much $70 on a 1 micro. If you had gotten short at 55s, then you could target 70s. Would be what? 55 plus 30, 85. It's almost like just a one-to-one trade, pretty much. But as we sat here and talked about shorting 55 cents, it's already fell 12 cents. So it might go without us here. We talked about it, but we didn't take the trade. With that rejection there, you could argue shorting maybe on the opening candle on the next 15 minute if it retraces back up here to these 55s. You could try a short with a stop above 21 cents here. And you could do something like that. See, if you were taking it at 55s and not talk about it, you would already be up 20 cents. Just the way of it. That's the way of it. I like a target of first profit target at 70 cents. Second profit target I'd like at 60. Because down here between 60 and 59.70s, I was looking for longs down here. So that's crude. Let's take a quick look at gold with 3 minutes before the opening bell. We had this scenario earlier when we done the London Open, like it could go up and then reject, or it can go down and then pop back up. Now we've had an initial push down to this area. We have shown an initial buying coming in here at the support. However, is it strong buying? I mean, it doesn't look like it at the moment. It looks like it could possibly just retrace and break through these 23s, and we could see sub 4,000s here today. So far it's showing pretty bearish. So you could, for example, like be short now, your risk would be above 66. So even on a one lot micro, you're risking about 160 bucks if you were looking to take something like that. So if you want to risk 160 now, $200 because it's now moving. So if you're willing to risk that, then sure. But like the disclaimer says, trading is risky. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. All my trades and my opinions are my own. People lose money. So trade your plan, trade your setups. Don't follow someone else's trades just because. Think about it yourself. Okay, we have 30 seconds roughly to the opening bell. We are currently up on the day. We had one trade earlier in the London session. This initial short here off this 15-minute rejection candle. We took a short and got 7 points. So we are up a little bit on the day. What do we want to get here out of the gate? I won't be lying if I want to take shorts out of the gate, but that is also risky. So the initial is the initial push is to the upside. Not gonna lie, when part of me wants to short this. We're showing wicks up here so far. I would love to see a push down here to these 70s. I don't know if we're going to get it. I mean, it could just rally all day. That's also a possibility. But I would much prefer a push down to these 70s. So far we have seen just a push up here. Starting to make a wicks here. We're going to have some profit taking to start the day. I wonder. I wonder. I think I'm going to take one. I think I'm going to look short here.
Order filled.
Because we're flipping red. I'm going to look for a 10-point retracement on a 2 micro trade. I think a retracement down to these 70s is valid. We tried pushing up into the 87s. It is rejecting. I'm hoping that we can get a push down here, just even if it's just profit taking. I'm not saying there's going to be a 100-point sell-off from here. I want a 10-point sell-off on a good trade, and that's about it. We're starting to get a rejection here at these 87s. They have stalled out here a couple of times. We've tried pushing up. We just tried pushing up there and stalled out, and we're showing some rejection. And for now, I will put my stop 10 points higher, but 93s. For now, I'll put my stop there. My max position size is 3 micros. That's as much as I'm willing to take on any given trade at the moment. Is 3 micros. So we had the rejection there. I want to get short a third micro.
Order filled.
Looking for 10 points on 3 micros here. If we can just get a flush down to these 7150s, I'll take my 10 points and I'll probably call it on the day. I mean, 10 points, 150. Why not? We'll see. We'll see what we get here. I will continue to observe even if this trade does play out in my favor. Take one off there maybe. If we can get a flush down below these 77s, I think it just goes 70s. I don't like it struggling here just to break a 5-minute support. Well, I don't like that it rejected like that off of a 5-minute support. And I was hoping for a little bit more push down. I mean, we only got down to 76, 75, 76.50. That 5-minute support held. Don't like that so far. Look at NASDAQ real quick. So the NASDAQ on the out of the gate, we dropped down to 800 and then found a 40-point bounce. I would love to see a retracement on the NASDAQ down to these 750s. It would make for a healthier market. Maybe we get some retracement. But I mean, you got to take what the market gives you. You got to take what the market gives you. Okay, so we have the Nasdaq starting to reject here. There's almost a 20-point sell-off so far on the Nasdaq. We are short from 8150s, short 3 micros. We're just looking for 71s. We're just looking for a 10-point sell-off into this overnight support zone, demand zone that it found initially in the overnight session during Asian session. We're just looking for 10 points. I'm looking for 10 points, take my 150 and lock it up. And lock it up. One trade on the New York session, one trade on the London session. 2 winners. That's all we're looking for. And if it goes against me and it stops me out, then I mean, that's part of it. It's part of it. Hopefully we get this hopefully we get this retracement. Hopefully we do. It will depend on whether or not this Nasdaq can push down. That's the problem, because Nasdaq is remaining bid up here. I'm hoping that we see a sell-off down to 750s in the Nasdaq. Maybe we can drag the S&P down to that profit area that I'm looking for. But if we remain bid up here, that is, I might just have to get out early if it just shows no sign of giving up. Still remaining bid up here so far. 10, 20 point bounce there. Monday is notorious for chop. I mean, we opened up with a gap to the upside. Didn't really sell off in the London session. Just kind of consolidated in the London session. I was hoping for more of a pullback to these 750s, because like if I was wanting to buy, I was wanting to buy around 750s. If that failed, then I was wanting to buy around 700s and then possibly 650s. But so far they're battling up here, which does not bode well for my trade that I have on currently. Does not bode well for it. Let's see, are we finally gonna give it up? I don't think so. So far it is remaining bid here. It's remaining bid up here. What's gold doing? Let's take a look at gold while this is just chopping around. So gold, we are starting to see that those initial sells come in on gold. Now we had a couple buying tails down here. Now whether or not that holds and continues to be supported, who knows? If we break below 23s, that's going to be a 39.73. It's going to fall below. It's going to try targeting these lower supports. Crude, what's Crude doing? Earlier we was looking at a short. So we was looking at a short at 55. That came down to 33, so it went 20 cents. And then it bounced back up. So it's showing support if it breaks above these 80s up here and closes above this little trend down right here. If it closes above, you could technically, I guess, look for longs on the breakout and try to target these 62.50s to the upside. That's optional. Little idea. But so far the equities remain bid up. So far they remain bid up here. They're chopping around as they do on Mondays. As one bad thing about Mondays is just chop. Just chop, chop, chop. If it keeps on remaining bid here, then the initial short would be invalid. I'm not gonna move my stop, and I'm gonna keep the stop where it is. I'm gonna keep the take profit where it is, because what I'm looking for is just a retracement back down to these 750s on NASDAQ, and that gives enough selling momentum to get my profit target on S&Ps, right? So I'm short 3, targeting 71s here. As we push down, this is a bullish market. I mean, I can look to take some off. I like as we push down, but I mean, for now we're chopping around, and it's not looking great for shorts so far. Because if we was gonna get the initial sell-off, that would have probably happened. We might look higher before we look lower. We just have to wait and see. Because we don't know where the market will go. We just have to follow it, react to it. As it chops around, it's not pushing higher either. So I mean, we have that going for us. If we can get a push down here, take out some. It's been 15 minutes, so it's been 20 minutes. So the first 15-minute candle has been formed. So for all you orb traders, bottom of that candle right there is 96.25. 96.25. Put it at 50. That's close enough. And then the high is right there at 59.75. Alright, so your 15 minutes been put in for your orb traders. I will mark that a different color from other levels. Mark that white. Okay, that's your 15 minute. We'll look at the 15 minute on the S&P as well. The 15 minute on both of them just show chop. 76.75, 87.75, right around there. Okay, so those are your two The yellow are levels, resistance, and supports that I'm looking for. The white is the orb for the 15-minute orb. Okay. And we continue to chop. Think we're going to get a push down, then we don't. We continue to chop here. Are we finally going to get a break up to the upside in here? Well, it looks like we might get a push higher. Does it stall out? We just have to wait and see. So far, it's just showing chop. So far, it is showing chop. But I'm in my max position here. I'm not going to look for adding or getting short the NASDAQ. I have no need to add to a loser. We had 2 times, had twice the chance to push down lower. Might just be one of those days where it's like, even though that, hey, we gapped up 50, 60 points overnight, that we just rally higher instead of getting a rejection or even a pullback. Like, I guess your pullback was 800s, right? If you're trading the NASDAQ. We're back to 40-point pullbacks, and then buy the dip on 40-point pullbacks again. Which sucks because I hate that kind of market. Got like a market that doesn't pull back at all. 40 points, I mean, it still feels like I'm buying the high. But, I mean, if you would have taken that, it's 50 points. Right. The same support on the 5-minute earlier that we got out on our trade earlier. Same 5-minute support on the S&Ps. It might turn, like it might be rejecting here for a turnaround. I mean, it's just chopping, right? Um, and to be honest, if it comes back into the green, I might take one off just to lessen risk because I don't feel like getting chopped around on a Monday because Mondays suck for that. I was hoping to get some clean action because it looked like it was going to get some momentum to the downside just for that quick pull back to the 70s and then bounce higher on the S&Ps, and we just didn't get it. We just didn't get it. We just didn't get it, so now we're just going to wait here as it chops around. And I don't really like trading other markets while I'm already in a trade on one market, so I'm not going to trade or I ain't gonna trade the Nasdaq. I ain't gonna trade oil or gold while I'm already in a trade. I'll stick to one trade, and if that one stops out or if I close it, then I'll move on to the next one. But I'm not looking to just throw trades around into multiple products at one time. I've done that before, and it normally doesn't work out in my favor. Because then my attention's split, and this is not good. Like right now, I'm just watching the Nasdaq to see what Nasdaq's doing, because if it starts rejecting here up at the highs, then possibly the S&Ps will also reject. But so far, it looks like it wants to push higher. So you have the S&Ps running the 15-minute orb high. I'm gonna get rid of these markers here. Kind of just in the way. So S&P's peaked above the 15-minute, rejected, closed back down below. Now will the Nasdaq do the same right here? Or will it just explode through? That's a little bit of a rejection right there. Does it just skip ball right back up, chop up some more? See, they're battling up here, but it does not look like it wants to reject here. We're still gonna let it play out, but it tried pushing down, it failed, and now it's going up. So alright, so we ran the 15-minute high. Do we get a rejection now? Do we get a rejection now? Okay, so we looked about the 15-minute. Has 2 minutes left to close on this 5-minute. Now, if this rejects here and closes red, there's an argument that it might fill on this breakout, but still 2 minutes left. We could get the rally now, which sucks. I was in the profit twice on the trade. Up 60 at one point, up 40 at one point. When it started stalling and chopping, I probably should have gotten out. We'll wait and see if this ends up doing here. Is it just gonna it might just kind of rally. It might just kind of rally. Starts holding above the 15-minute opening range high, then I think I just have to get out of the trade and take the loss on it because it starts holding above the opening range, then typically it tends to go higher for the rest of the day. So see what happens here. Okay. If this supports right here and rejects and holds, then it's looking like it's longs for the rest of the day. If we get another close, if we get a close below this on this next 5-minute candle, then it's possible that we could see a retracement back down to the lows. We just have to wait and see. I can't lie, there was a part of me that almost wanted to short at 67s. I didn't because I said earlier I don't like doing that and I need to stay true to that because I don't like doing it. It sucks putting on another trade and another product and have your attention just split between the two. It just sucks. So I'd prefer not to do that. I'd prefer not to do that. as it looks right now, it looks like it's bouncing. So it looks like it's supporting a little bit. So I need for it to reject and show some meaningful rejection here, like not just more chop. But it looks like it's bouncing. If it closes above, then I mean, technicals say that's a long. I have 2 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. It's also the 15-minute candle as well. It could be leaving a selling top here on the 15-minute. Still 2 minutes left in this 5 and 15 minute. I want to let it play out. Candle's not done yet. Candle is not done. It's still trying to push up. The bad thing about when volatility dies, you have this kind of like zombie rally. It doesn't really, like, it's not really pushing. It's just kind of grinding slowly towards the highs. And that's what sucks sometimes. That's what sucks sometimes. Just you have this constant grind. Got a notification about gold falling below 4,000 on the spot price. Yeah. So gold is now breaking down below the lows of last week. It is prime for a short down to 39.75, 39.73s. Like if we get a push down, a close, and you get a retracement back up to the 23s and a rejection, you short it down. That's could be a 50-point trade, give or take, if it does do exactly that. But I mean, trade your own plan. But so far it's breaking the lows. It's looking bullish. Not bullish, bearish. I'm correcting myself there because that is not true on the bullish. It's looking bearish. No, but it has to stay below the lows for to have any follow through. Okay, so we did have a small selling wick. I mean, that's not really a bearish candle. It's still bullish to an extent, but what was it closed? 25? It closed right at the high of the opening range, 15 minute, and it closed above. So, you have that going for us on this short trade, but I could still just run here. Not over yet. Gotta love Mondays. And coming into the week, kind of expected this just because you don't have no news today, you don't have no news tomorrow. The news about China came out over the week, and that's why we have a gap up. The next biggest news, unless there's like a major headline or a tweet post from the man himself, the next big news is Wednesday on the Fed decision. people pretty much know that it's going to be a cut. We just, like, people are expecting a 25 basis cut. If it's a 50, that would be a surprise. If it's a pause, that would also be a surprise. So, but pretty much everyone's thinking we're going to get a 25 cut, which you could argue that's already baked into the price. So, outside of a surprise or two, I mean, I wonder about this week. Yep, see, we just talked about it, and here we have gold selling off now. 39.73s, I think, are incoming. Now, would I go ahead, like, take a just a straight buy off that level? No, I'd wait for it to make some bullish structure or like some reversal structure before trying to take a long on gold. If there's a rate cut on Wednesday that is bullish for gold because it's weakening the dollar, so gold should bounce on that decision if they do cut on Wednesday, even if it is a short bounce of 20-30 points before a continued sell-off, because it's, I mean, it's been bearish these past couple of days on gold. Today's no different. Anyways, so we're starting to get a rejection here, I think, a little bit on the equities. Let's see how this 5-minute candle closes. We have another minute. I've seen it just rally straight 20 points and close green before, so I'm in no hurry to call it a sell-off or a push down quite yet. In hindsight, the 67 short that I thought about earlier, now it doesn't look too bad. Be up 25 points, but I was already in a trade. I don't like taking trades in separate products. It's a quick way to get over leverage really, like, very fast, and if it would be one thing if I was over leveraged in the direction of the overall market. I'm currently playing the contrarian view on the fact that on the intraday we might be overextended a little bit, and I'm looking for a minor pullback of Nasdaq to the 750s and the ES to the 70s. That's all I'm looking for, is just a minor pullback. What I want is that's all I want. Monday chop. Monday chop. It's almost been an hour. An hour of trading, and the price that it opened up an hour ago is the exact same price it is right now. maybe I was just a little bit too hasty getting in. If I had a little bit more patience and I waited for that 90 push, it would have been a better risk to reward. But after a couple of rejections of the 87, it was looking like it wanted to go lower first before going higher, but the push lower got stalled out after about 5 or 6 points, and then immediately chopped around until it eventually pushed higher. Looked above the overnight high at above 90s on the S&Ps. Rejected above the overnight high, closed back below. And now we find ourselves in this chop again, in this range that it's been ranging between 87 and 76 all overnight. That's all it's been doing. And we're already done with almost an hour worth of trading. The longer this goes on, if I unfortunately on a Monday like this, if we chop around and just consolidate for like the first 2 hours of the trading day, typically the moves happen later in the day, whether a break up to the upside or a break out to the downside. Usually after lunch in the 1 to 2 p.m. Central Time range, that's when you start getting your move. Unfortunately for me, being in Japan, I just can't afford to stay up that long, looking for a trade that might or might not happen. And if I stay up that late and I look for that trade and it goes against me and I have no sleep, I'm just gonna be ill all day the next day at work, and that's not a good mix. So I'm hoping that we get something right here. I mean, we had a rejection down, like 10-point sell-off from the highs, but I mean, we're back down here at this support chop area that we were at before. I want to see a push lower here. Like, I'm not even looking for like, oh, I wanted to go back down to 6800s even. I'm not looking for 80 points. I am just looking for 10. And that's the bad thing. We got 10 from the 90s. That's just me and my patience. Like, that's just me and my patience. I could have got a better entry. Let the market play out a little bit more. And then sometimes I wait until the first 15-minute candle closes. And if I would have done that, maybe that could have helped. Here we are, just chopping around some more. And the longer it chops around, because it could just climb back up here, and that's not good. Oh. I would like to see at least a somewhat meaningful pullback. And I'm not talking about like a 30-point pullback on the NASDAQ. I'm talking about 50 points to 100. But once the volatility dies, I mean, this is a normal pullback, unfortunately. Volatility, like the deal being sealed, possibly is just a volatility killer. That's when chop happens. I mean, the ATR is 20. 2 weeks ago, the ATR on the 5-minute was 40 and 50 points. We're still within the first hour, and the ATR on the 5-minute is only 20 points. On the NASDAQ, see now we're starting to get this pushed back up again. This is just crazy. It's ridiculous, man. Crazy. Tis crazy. That's what I was worried about. It just fucking stalled there, and now we're rallying again. Just sort of stalled. Didn't go anywhere. Didn't do anything. That 5-minute support from the overnight held again. Here gold's moving. Like, it's sad when like the best intraday trading is gold right now. It's actually moving. Gold on the 5-minute has half the ATR of the NASDAQ. That is bad. Because on a 1 micro, that is $100 ATR. Every 5 minutes, it's moving $100 on 1 micro. Like this move from 60s all the way down to the 4,000, that's a $600 move on a micro. Just that right there. Like from 10 until now. That's nuts. Congrats to whoever caught it. That's crazy. You have a slight bounce off of 4,000s coming in here. The trade of the day is on gold. That's why you see a lot of people trading gold now, because it actually moves. It's becoming more and more of a trader's market on gold. This is not tradable. Like makes you get stuck on a trade so quickly. Like how is it already dying out with we're 1 hour in and like the whole market's already dying out. Well, so the Nasdaq is stronger than the ES. So the Nasdaq is the reason why everything is pushing up. If the Nasdaq were to sell off, then the S&P would just probably sell off more because it's the weaker of the two. Like if I didn't care about adding more leverage, I would short right here on the NASDAQ. But I mean, there's just, other than me just trying to predict the top, there's just no structure saying that there's a short there. I just have to live with that. Now, if we start having like maybe a selling wick up here at the top, with the S&P being weak, the S&P could drag down the NASDAQ because I mean the S&P is weaker than the NASDAQ, so because where the NASDAQ put in a new high, the S&P did not. The S&P did not. Oh, if the NASDAQ happens to reject up here, the S&P did not make a new high and had kind of like a rejection here. Does not mean it's going to go down. With the NASDAQ being high, that's more than enough to invalidate any setup on the SPY. Look at that chop. That's crazy chop right there. Gonna step away for a moment. Okay, and we're back. Set the way for 10 minutes or so. So we had a pullback on the NASDAQ from 91s down to the open range 15-minute high. So far we are bouncing from that area. On the S&Ps, we are still weaker on the S&Ps. We are below the 15-minute and the overnight high. So far the S&Ps has shown to be the weaker of the two, like I said earlier. I think if the NASDAQ can pull down to 800s, there'll be enough juice to get the S&Ps down to 70s, and then the rest of the day might just be a chop day after that. But one thing I gotta be careful of is it's already been an hour and a half almost. I don't want to get stuck in this trade for 2 or 3 hours. I have to be mindful of that. This is my own personal situation. I can't be up all night trading. I try to be done within the first 2 hours, but this Monday price action hasn't been the best. So I'm hoping that we can break down here. Put one there at 77.25. 74.
Order rejected.
And due to the short side. See, once again, we're bouncing here, right? This price action is horrendous. What do you get in a fucking Monday? That's ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. Like, we're just not getting any good action, really. Like, yeah, I guess you could have taken the long off that 15-minute opening range warp high. So far, that would have netted you about 15 points on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is propping up the S&Ps. And like once again, my current trade in the S&P came back down to the break-even point and bounced. The worst feeling in the world when your trade entry becomes support, even though you didn't put it at support, because it's not a support area, technically. I can only give this trade another 30 minutes. I just have to be mindful of the time in my situation. I didn't get enough sleep last night. I need to try to get enough sleep tonight. Can't afford to be in this trade all night long. And yes, I know I could just set the stop and then take profit and walk away and whatever happens, happens. But I'm the type of person, as soon as I lay in bed, put the trade on, I'll just have to stare at it constantly. Well, it looked below, and here we are again trying to rally on the Nasdaq, even though the S&Ps are showing weakness. Can we get a breakdown on SPY here? Finally get a push down on the Nasdaq. We're finally getting like a topping formation here. What a Monday, bro. We're finally getting a breakdown here, question mark. Like, and the Nasdaq just like retrace back to these 800s or something. This price action is horrible. Monday volume, Monday price action. S&Ps. This is getting propped up by the Nasdaq. Nasdaq won't sell, so this S&Ps is just doing this. If the S&Ps decide to rally, this is just game over. We're going up to 6,900s today, if that's just the case. I didn't think it was going to be that hard to get a 10-point pullback. Just hit the overnight lows at 71, like not even 71. They're closer to 66. So I was hoping like a 10-point pullback to the 70s was like very reasonable. We're just not getting the price action. We're just not getting the movement that we need. Now we have the Nasdaq making another high, and the S&Ps is finding a bounce. Is that going to be the nail in the coffin for the Nasdaq finally? Or we're finally going to get a push down on the Nasdaq? Well, market's not really moving. The Nasdaq's being propped up here on the highs. The S&P wants to sell off and retrace, but the Nasdaq just won't do that. The Nasdaq keeps getting bought up higher. So I've been in this trade now for almost 2 hours and it has just went nowhere. Been in the profit twice, I've been break even twice. Other than that, it's been in the red. But like red only very slightly, I mean it's just not doing anything. Just not doing anything. But, okay, well, I have sat here for 2 hours. I'm going to leave this trade on as I get ready for bed before I go to sleep. I will look at it one more time and either one, just get out of it completely and take the loss or small profit if it's in profit at the time, or adjust risk to where it will stop me out if it ends up going against me while I sleep. Something that I would be willing to risk. Because I can't sit here and just keep watching it. I need to eventually get in bed here. Go work tomorrow and whatnot. Okay, well, we had one winner today in the Open on London. We took 7 points. This trade, not a great trade at all, really. Monday price action didn't help, but has not been a good trade. Bad location on the entry on my part, in hindsight. I could afford to have waited a little longer. But, hey, live and learn. Whether this trade's a loss or a break even, we will be back tomorrow. But for now, I will sign off with one win and a loss at the moment on this current trade, the way it's going. So, I will keep you informed and I will update tomorrow on how this trade turned out after the fact. Who knows, maybe we just rally from here. Just a all-day rally type day where it's just a slow rally to the upside, where we end the day at 26,000 as it grinds up another 100 points over the next 4 hours before close. Wouldn't that just be so much fun to watch and to enjoy? Let's we'll take one more look at our other trading products. So hey, like I said, earlier. Once we get this break above and then we get a hold above, you can get long here. It turned out to be a good trade. Okay, so at least that one worked out if you would have taken it. Micro gold, what's that doing? Okay, so we went down to 86. We have not touched the 73 yet. But this was tradable. To everyone who traded it, awesome. Hopefully he traded it on the short side. If he tried buying it, then not so awesome, but hopefully there were some people that was able to catch that move. That's awesome. That's an awesome move. That's a good trading move. Like it actually moved like unlike the S&P did. Okay. We'll look at NASDAQ here. Yeah. Just nothing. Just nothing. Alright. Well, for anyone who stopped by, I appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow. I will try to stream the London Open again, and then the New York. I haven't decided whether or not if I just want to just do strictly New York, or do the London Open. I think it might be beneficial for me to just focus on one until I can build up an audience and see, like if they wanted me to do the London session, then I could argue doing it. But as I have no concurrent viewers at the moment, I have other things I could attend to as far as family-wise goes. This is something I'll have to figure out on my own. I did it today, and we found one good trade opportunity. Anyways, was fun. I'll keep you updated on this trade. This market is turning into a zombie rally to the upside, unfortunately. One of those dull rally days where you have this structure forming here on 3 minute, where you've had these consistent rejections and then these supports, and it's just breaks up or breaks down and then the way of it. So, you know, maybe it's a bullish, we get a bullish break and it just completely stops me out here. We get no retracement down. And then the retracement that I'm looking for ends up coming tomorrow or on Wednesday. And I'm just a day or two early. I hate when that happens too. That sucks. I was up 50 bucks at one point. I was break even. 2 times after that, I should have just gone out. Gone out, reassessed. Perfectly fine. Just reassessing. But it wasn't really invalidated, and now this is kind of invalidating it for me because now we're getting a bullish breakout of this little channel that we've been in. So not looking good for the trade, but we'll like I said, adjust risk and play it like that. Alrighty, well, I'll take it easy, and I will catch you tomorrow.